Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of PAINTCULIAR with me, Akin. This is going to be that big deal project I've been talking about. So it has come to my attention that Monster High has, or had because the line has been discontinued. I don't know, grammar confuses me. So Monster High got this certain type of male body. Minotaur and Hezekiah's team have this type of body. They have this exaggerated torso, big arms, but the lower part of the body is still somewhat slim. I think that is comical and I really like the design. But these are exclusive dolls, which means they are expensive and I would only spend $25 top for a single doll, so these guys are out of question. Since I don't want to afford them, you know where this is going. Major body modification. Now listen, I only got into sculpting because I got into doll customizing, and other than patching things up, I've never really done any excessive sculpting, so I'll be trying my luck at it. Bear with me. The Stabbington brothers from Tangled inspired me to do this as well, so yeah, let's start. For the base, we'll be using Hunter Huntsman from Ever After High. He's from the pack with Ashley and Ella. It's relatively easy to find this pack here, so I'm not that worried about messing up. But this video exists, which means I did not fail. At least to my standard, I did not. Let's prepare him for customization. Cut the hair as close to the scalp as possible. Dunk the head in hot water and yank it off the body. Since we're gonna be focusing on the body, let's put the head aside for now. For some reason, I feel the need to get rid of the molded underwear, so using an X-Acto knife, I take out the raised details. Then I sand the surface to make it smooth. I mark where to cut using a permanent marker. We're going to cut around the shoulders, upper arms, lower arms, around the hip, lower legs, and upper legs. I bought this rotary tool set some time ago and I finally get to use it. I'm so excited. Now let's get to cutting, using a cutting bit obviously. As you can see, I already cut the hip, but I didn't cut the shoulder part deep enough because there's still that panel. You need that part to be hollow. No worries, just cut a little deeper. Now this is what you want. Do it to the other side. This is good enough. If the arm is stuck to the panel, just cut the peg part. Now we can cut the arm. The lower arm is actually hard vinyl instead of hard plastic like most parts of the body are. I didn't know that. Cut the legs. Also, the cutting bit broke. I almost died. Here's a diagram I made about what to cut and what to build. So he's not only gonna be bigger, he's going to be taller as well. In total, he's going to be 4 centimeters taller. In real life, he would be like 6'5 or 6'6, I don't know. Also mark the parts left and right so you wouldn't get bamboozled. I made 2 loops with tails, let's just call them tails out of aluminum wire. These are going to be the armatures for the new arm sockets. Drill a hole under the armpit area. Then anchor the tail to the hole. It's flappy and unstable, so let's add more anchors. Better. So much better. If you're lucky, you can find bars inside to anchor your wire to. If not, then just drill a hole. It's no problem. Fill the spaces with tin foil and hot glue to keep them in place. We reconnect the torso later, you just have to do the arms and legs first. I'll be using epoxy clay to cover almost the entire thing. If you wonder why I don't use epoxy sculpt like other doll artists, that means you're not one of the OGs and I don't want to talk about it. Just watch my older videos and you'll find out why I have certain feelings about that product. Also, epoxy clay is an Indonesian local product, so not only I get it cheaper, I also get to help local vendors here, so it's a win-win situation. A little info for y'all because I feel like a lot of you get it twisted. Epoxy is a brand from F's, and epoxy is the chemical compound. Alright, now we can start sculpting for the new arm sockets. This part is actually the hardest because we're basically building a surface instead of working on one, but just take your time. Here's what it looks like after it's cured. Looks promising, kind of. Alright, now we can reconnect the torso to the lower part of the body. Cover it with epoxy clay. Here I'm making the shoulder part bigger by filling it with hot glue first. Though I ran into a minor problem later because of this, but it's okay because it's nothing serious. Again, cover it with epoxy. After it's cured, if you measure everything right, the shoulder should sit nicely in the socket, like this. If it doesn't sit nicely like this, it's probably because the socket isn't big enough. Just sand the perimeter of the socket, it's an easy fix, no problem. Also, please sand outside. I'm showing you a little bit of me sanding for presentation purpose only. Thank you. Now we're talking. Let's move on to cosmetic sculpting. I mark where the pecs, abs, collarbone, and stuff like that would be. Fill it with hot glue so you wouldn't have to use too much epoxy. Then cover it with the real medium. Also, please be considerate when it comes to mixing the epoxy because you don't know how long you're going to take working on one spot. Sure, epoxy takes like 8 hours to fully cure, but it hardens within an hour. I wasted this much epoxy because I didn't calculate how much I needed. It's better to mix a bunch of small amounts rather than one big amount. I'm done with the sculpting, hooray! If I knew I'd sculpt this much, I wouldn't have bothered getting rid of that molded underwear because that part is covered anyway. The surface is really bumpy. To take care of that, I'll be using 60 and 80 grits of sanding sponges. To fine tune it, I'm using 3M fine sanding sponge. Here I'm wet sanding it, but still, I can't stress this enough, sand outside. I should probably sand more because the surface isn't completely smooth, but I got sick of sanding and I was like, that's enough, let's move on. To reconnect the shoulder joints, I'm referencing the Lightful Sakura. First, I mark where the slits would be. I'm using this bit to carve the slits. The problem I come across is that the bit rotates so fast it melts the hot glue. So you better use full epoxy only for this part. They look sorta like this. Now you can mark where the holes would be. Keep in mind the holes should intersect with the slits. Then just drill the holes. Insert the wire. Please use stiff and strong wire. Here I'm using stainless wire because it's going to handle a lot of tension. I cut the wire a little shorter than the actual width of the shoulder joint because I want the wire to be permanent. After the wire is inserted, I conceal the hole with some more epoxy. Time to color correct his body. Here I'm mixing acrylic paint to match his original skin tone. I think this is close enough. Mix the paint with distilled water so we can apply it using an airbrush. I would say the ratio is about 1 part paint and 4 part distilled water. I store the paint in this small plastic bottle. I broke the nozzle of my old pen brush, so I bought a new one. This one works way better. Also, my new pen brush matches the compressor. If you do doll custom, invest in an airbrush, it's worth it. Here's the body already painted. It turned out a little too red, but I tried my best, okay? It took me about 4 coats to get this nice coverage. After that, I give the whole body 4 layers of watered down matte varnish. Then I seal it with Tamiya Color TS80 twice and get to body blushing. Honestly, blushing this range of skin tone confuses me because the color I pick is always too red or too dark. I never get the perfect color. After I'm done blushing, I spray it again with Tamiya Color TS80 and draw on the body hair. Then I give the body 1 last layer of Tamiya Color TS80 and 4 coats of watered down matte varnish. I went crazy with the sealants because I want the paint and everything to stay intact. Now let's install the arms to the body. Using a needle and a piece of string, I'm going to thread the elastic under the wire of the shoulder joint. Thread it in, thread it out, insert the elastic to the string loop, then pull the string. I didn't make hooks because I couldn't get the elastic to be tight enough, so I'm doing this instead. Pass both ends of the elastic through the arm socket. Thread one end of the elastic to the other shoulder joint. Then tie a very tight knot. Cut off the excess elastic. And there you have fully functioning shoulder joints. We are finally done with the body. That was a lot of work. Let's handle the head now. I submerge it in hot water to soften the final. Using tweezers and pliers, I pull out the remaining hair through the neck hole. The head is now hair-free, and would you look at that, gangs of glue. Finally, they're nasty. I erased the factory paint and removed the flocking using 100% pure acetone. I still want to flock the lower part, but I want to reroot a bigger area, so here I'm marking the new hairline. Then poke the new holes. If you want to do something like this, poke the new holes before you seal anything. I prep the face with 3 layers of MSC and do some initial blushing. I spray the head again with MSC and do the lips. Starting off the eyebrows while I'm at it. Another layer of MSC and I get to sketching the facial features. Fill in the colors. Add details here and there. You know the rule, if the color won't build up anymore, just spray another layer of MSC and keep going. Let's add the facial hair. You can actually bring out lighter colors on a fresh layer of MSC. Here's the finished face. It usually takes me like 8 layers to finish a face up, but this one only took like 5. Let's paint the scalp. Before we reroot, I'm going to apply the flocking first. Now we can reroot the hair. I'm giving him black hair and blue eyes because black hair and blue eyes. Glue the hair from the inside to secure it. Cut and style the hair. He looks like a troll with his hair like this. Oh my god, it's Derek Hill from Teen Wolf. Finally, we can reunite the head to the body. Not to toot my own horn, but for someone who isn't at all familiar with sculpting, I think I did one hell of a job. I'm really proud of the way he turned out. I don't even remember the last time I'm being this proud of my own work. This is such a milestone for me. It took me 2 whole weeks to finish the body and the head, and a lot happened. One of my relatives got married, and then I got sick, and then another relative died. Anyway, I named him Perry the Experiment because experiment, get it? Also, he is an experiment. Since I put a lot of effort on the doll, I might as well put the same amount of effort on the outfits. Yes, plural. Obviously, I don't want him to be just an underwear model, but I can make up my mind what kind of character he is, so I decided to make a few options. And with this, we call it a doll. First, we have this Spartan, gladiator type of character. I made this because I want to showcase the body modification. The sleeve armor is probably my favorite part of the costume. I think it looks really cool. Second, we have a superhero because it's obvious. Making the bodysuit. Oh my god, I got PTSD. Were all the mental breakdowns I experienced while sewing the bodysuit worth it? Yes. Will I make another one? No. Still no sewing tutorial from me. I'm sorry, but that's probably never gonna happen. Also, making a cape is such a waste of fabric. Third and last, we have a lumberjack. This was just an excuse for me to make regular clothes for him. He looks like a Harvest Moon character. Tell me which one is your favorite. I had a lot of fun doing body modification and I would definitely do it again. For the Halloween special, what do you say? Alright, so this is it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you want to. See you in the next one. Bye.